She said it's a off section. If she says a off section, brother, she ain't the only one. The prostitute ain't the only one. Old boy is off also.
Okay, so the Diddy situation is obviously blowing up right now. It's been insane to watch with the raids and everything. But honestly, a lot of people have been talking about theories surrounding him for years, especially when it comes to Tupac and Biggie's deaths. Everyone's got an opinion, right? But I came across some info that's a little different, a little more direct, let's say. Basically, Gene Deal, who was Diddy's bodyguard back in the day, is claiming that Diddy had way more involvement in those murders than anyone's ever let on. And this isn't just some random dude on the internet. Deal was there. He was literally in the car when Biggie got shot. He saw things, heard things, and now he's finally talking.
Stevie J and Mace went to a basketball game together. Those Crips pulled them to the side and told both of them, it's Puff we want and it's Big we want. Stevie J should have been talking about he didn't tell Big nothing. I even told Big before we left. If we go to this party, somebody gonna die tonight. If that ain't drugs that kid is taking that got him talking like that, man, the Pope ain't Catholic and the pig ain't pork.
Now, before we get into the really crazy stuff, you gotta understand the backdrop. It's the mid-90 seconds, East Coast versus West Coast hip-hop is at its peak, and tensions are higher than Snoop Dogg at a Willie Nelson concert. Tupac and Biggie, who used to be like brothers, are now bitter enemies, and everyone's taking sides. Then Tupac gets killed in Vegas in '96. 6 months later, Biggie gets murdered in LA. The cases go cold, and for years, all we've had are theories. But Gene Deal is connecting dots that the police apparently missed. He's revealing conversations that happened behind closed doors, and honestly, some of this stuff is gonna make your jaw drop. He starts by saying that Diddy was extremely jealous of Tupac, and not just in a friendly competition kind of way, like deep personal jealousy. Diddy himself has even admitted he didn't know how to talk to women, while Pac had this natural charisma that just drew people to him. Deal says you could see the jealousy in Diddy's eyes whenever Tupac was around, and this jealousy, according to Deal, played a major role in what happened next. So let's jump back to '94 for a second. Anyone who knows anything about hip-hop knows about the Quad Studios shooting. That's the night everything changed between Tupac and Biggie. Tupac was at Quad Studios in Manhattan to record with some other artists. When he got to the lobby, 3 men wearing army jackets robbed and shot him 5 times. He survived, but barely. The shooter was a guy named Isaac Dexter, who eventually confessed that he was paid $2,500 by Jimmy Henchman, a powerful music executive, to carry out the shooting. Now, back then, Jimmy Henchman was not someone you wanted to mess with. He had serious power in the music industry and serious connections on the streets. But here's where Deal's story gets really spicy. He claims that he was there that night to spy on Biggie. Jimmy Henchman allegedly told him that they were going to teach Pac a lesson because Pac owed him some money. So that's why Deal was at the studio when Tupac showed up. Pac owed Henchman money, and Deal is claiming that Diddy knew Jimmy Henchman was coming to hurt Tupac. Okay, so Gene says that Diddy was actually at Quad Studios that night, and get this, Diddy knew that Jimmy Henchman was coming to hurt Tupac, and he did absolutely nothing to stop it. Like, let that sink in for a second. Imagine knowing someone's about to get shot and you just say nothing, you just let it happen. That's cold, man. That's really cold. Gene asked the question we're all thinking. Was Diddy's jealousy of Tupac so strong that he was okay with him getting hurt? Did he think, well, if Tupac's out of the picture, that's one less person outshining me. I'll let you decide. But the fact that Diddy knew about this shooting and stayed silent, that's not just suspicious, that's downright disturbing. Now, let's fast forward to '96 when Tupac was killed in Vegas. This is where things get even more complicated, and where even more people start pointing fingers at Diddy. Kirk Burroughs, who was the co-founder of Bad Boy Entertainment and worked directly with Diddy for years, came forward in a Netflix documentary called The Reckoning with some serious allegations. Kirk also said that, he feels like Diddy was behind Pac's murder. Yeah, if Diddy played a part in that stuff, like, Kirk knew where the money came from. If you talk about the Vegas trip and the whole 9 yards, Kirk said that he paid for people to drive out to Vegas. But if Kirk knew and he was paying for people to drive out to Vegas in the whole 9 yards, it's hard to hide $1 million. I asked Boone. I said, yo, Boone, when did he get a record label? He said, you know how Zip is. I said, when he get a Zip record label? Zip had a check for $1 million. He said he got it from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman for his record label Blackground Records. So now if that's true, we know Jimmy Henchman and Puff was cool. If that's the truth, you should be able to trace that where it came from. Why did he get it? Kirk Burrows says he believes Diddy had a lot to do with Tupac's death. And the reason? That same jealousy we talked about earlier. Kirk says Diddy's jealousy over Tupac's success was out of control by this point. Tupac was bigger than ever. His album, All Eyes on Me, had just come out and was selling millions. Tupac was on top of the world, and according to Kirk, Diddy couldn't stand it. But here's the really wild part. Kirk claims that Diddy made a very unusual request around the time of Tupac's death. He says Diddy wanted to rent cars to drive from New York all the way to Las Vegas during the weekend of the Mike Tyson fight. That's the same weekend Tupac was killed. Now, why would Diddy need to rent cars for a road trip from New York to Vegas? That's a 40-hour drive. People fly to Vegas. They don't drive across the entire country unless you're trying to transport something you don't want going through airport security. So then we get to the craziest part for me, because it stops being about Tupac and Biggie and it gets super personal. It came to light that this dude Diddy wanted Gene dead way before any of this YouTube stuff happened. I mean, I was just doing meetings with people in the street, not causing no trouble. Okay, so instead of going to the cops or his security, Diddy tells street dudes, people that did dirt for him, that he's looking for a guy to do Gene dirty because I'm running my mouth on YouTube. Imagine that. He didn't tell the cops, he tells street dudes to come get me for speaking out on a YouTube channel. It came to life for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube, because I was having meetings with serious dudes in the street and he refused to sit down. So what did he do? He didn't tell his security team, he didn't tell the NYPD officers, he didn't tell none of the parole officer, anybody he had working for him that was office. He told street dudes who had did dirt in the street. When y'all see Gene, y'all do him dirty, because I came here and talked about the character of this dude wanted me dead. I didn't know. Y'all could find somebody else to play with. That goes to show you what kind of dude this is. Instead of coming to the table and saying Big and Tupac, he said it. This kind of character that y'all out here saying that y'all standing up for. Gene Deal found out years later that Diddy actually wanted him killed too. Let that sink in for a second. Diddy wanted his own bodyguard, his own loyal protector, dead. Gan had saved Diddy's life before, multiple times. He put himself in danger to keep Diddy safe. He was loyal, dedicated, and treated Diddy like a brother. They had history together. They had been through situations that bonded people for life. And how did Diddy plan to repay all of that loyalty? By having Gene murdered. Gene says he feels utterly betrayed. And honestly, who wouldn't? Imagine finding out that someone you trusted with your life, someone you protected and stood by through everything, wanted you dead. And the worst part? Deal says there was no valid reason for it. He didn't betray Diddy. He didn't steal from him. He didn't disrespect him. Diddy just decided that Gene knew too much and had become a liability. That's not just betrayal. That's pure evil. That's sociopathic behavior. Deal calls it maniacal, and I think that's the perfect word for it. You have to have something seriously wrong with you to want to kill someone who's been nothing but loyal to you, someone who saved your life, someone who had your back through everything. But that's who Diddy is, according to Gene. That's the real Diddy behind the fancy suits and the smile and the public image. A man who will eliminate anyone he sees as a threat, even the people closest to him. So, what do you think?